Hi, I'm Mary Beth Stapleton, Manager of Family and Community Partnerships for Hartford County Public Schools. Thank you for joining the Parent Academy Real Talk on optional purchases for families. We're here today with Ms. Deborah Judd, who's Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. Thanks
Hi.
for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And Mr. Jason Wilkinson, who is a Technology Team Leader. Thanks for being here. I know you're really busy this time of year. So we hear a lot as parents about opportunities for purchases in addition to other things, for back to school. And so we wanted to clarify for families what exactly that looks like. So in thinking about devices, we, as a parent and a student, we receive devices at the beginning of the school year. And so as parents, we know that the hustle and bustle of every day, sometimes our children may not be they may have issues with the device. So I'll let you describe, Deborah, the concerns around that could happen for families, and what are some options and opportunities for parents to consider to help protect themselves.
Sure. Well, we have created a device protection plan for our families to purchase. So through October 31st, it's $20 to purchase the protection plan, and then through January 31st, from November 1st through January 31st, it'll be $50. That covers any accidental damage that occurs to the device within the school year for the entire year. So if a student drops a device twice and they've purchased this, they're covered. It does not cover lost or stolen devices. So you have to actually have a device to turn it in order to take advantage of the coverage of the protection plan. Ultimately, families are responsible for the devices that are given to their students to use. So this is a safety measure that we wanted to put in place because they are expensive. If you opt not to purchase the protection plan, which will again cover a couple accidents through the year should they happen, it's $150 a pop for each damage that occurs. And that covers typically their screen damages. Jason can talk to that a little bit.
Right.
That covers those replacements, as well as our time to, repair them, because we repair them in-house for the most part.
Okay. So Jason, just to be clear, if a family does experience an accident of some kind with a device, they drop it during the school day, they drop it, wherever, they are required to somehow fix that with you. I mean, how does that work? How does that get communicated to the technology office, or how does that happen?
So usually the student will either come to a staff member or their teacher or faculty member, and they will start the process of looking up. So we track who has the device protection plan, and whoever has it, if they have it at that point, it's a clean swap. They get a new device, they go home, no questions asked, no problems. If they do not, then it starts this process of now we have to repair, we have to charge the parents, letters come home, stuff like that. So yeah, we do suggest you get the plan. It's a $20 plan that can cover a host of expenses, parts to go into those laptops. So, yeah.
That's a really great point. And so if a family has, 3 or 4 children, and each device gets broken, and believe me, 4 kids, it can happen. So that said, it really could become a costly burden on the family. So that protection will cover that device, and so that's really what we're trying to encourage parents to purchase.
So it really covers the student. So even if he swaps the device, it's for that student for the remainder of the year, even into the summer school if the student is to go to summer school as well. So it's really that student, not the device.
Got it. Okay, and that's really a great opportunity for parents to consider, because we really want to make sure, families feel comfortable. Again, we understand, as parents, children, drop devices or whatever, but this way they can protect themselves and the family as well. So we really appreciate you taking the time to really explain what this means and the consequences if they don't purchase this protection. So thank you for that. So thinking about, all of this information, and I'm sure once parents see this, there's going to be a sense of urgency. So how do they access that protection?
So the information is available on the website in the back to school checklist. That's available, and principals will also have it and be communicating it with their families as well. There's a link to go online to School Cash Online, and they'll be able to register and add their child and purchase the device. There's also a QR code that will take you right to it.
Great.
So there's a couple different options to do it. We've tested it, and people say it's very easy to use, very easy to find their students and purchase the plan.
Perfect, thank you. This is great, and I'm sure parents are going to, definitely get online and try to check that out and make sure they're protected. So thank you for your time.
Great, thank you.
Our next guest for optional purchases for parents to consider is Ms. Julie Uehlein, who's Supervisor of Risk Management. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So when we're thinking about optional purchases for parents, and we're thinking about insurance, why would a family want to purchase insurance for their child, especially if they already have insurance?
Well, in Harford County Public Schools, we do offer student accident insurance based off a board policy. We have to provide this insurance to parents each year. It's an optional program for families to use. It's a benefit to them because if they do have any gaps in their health insurance, their medical insurance, or their dental insurance, it provides a little bit of coverage for those families that are in need of insurance. So if an accident does occur at school or in an athletic game or field trips, this gives families a protection.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. So what you're saying is if an accident occurs during kind of a field trip or they're at a game or something like that, and they come to find out that their own insurance doesn't cover it, it could perhaps cover the gap?
Yes, it would. There are some stipulations with the program, so medical bills would have to hit $25,000 for the student accident insurance to kick in. So anything after $25,000, then the student accident insurance would cover those types of bills.
Well, thank you. That's great. That's a great protection for families who may not know that could happen, that perhaps their insurance might not cover the entire cost, but this protection could. So how much does that cost a family?
So our student accident insurance goes through a third-party vendor, so it's called Bob McCloskey Insurance, and they provide ranges of coverage for families to purchase. So the range is from $26 to $216.
Okay.
So families have options of what coverage they would like to select, and then with the price that goes along with that.
Great. And then how does the family apply or access that insurance?
So at the beginning of the school year, we will be providing letters to each family from the schools, and that would provide information to each family about how they can enroll in the student accident program. All the information is on Bob McCloskey Insurance's website, and families can fill out the forms, pay for any invoices on their website directly.
Excellent. Julie, I'm thinking about families that don't necessarily have insurance or have very little insurance. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of having this insurance for their children?
This program will give families a peace of mind of if something did occur during school, they would have coverage. Where if they do not have insurance, then all the bills would be on their own burden. So this program is very useful if you don't have insurance or your deductible.
It
large.
could really impact a family.
Yes.
In a very detrimental way if they didn't have this kind of insurance. So I
Yes.
think that's a really great point to bring up. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So thank you for being here. We really appreciate your expertise and support for families.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, and we've talked about optional purchases for parents to protect your family from potential costs that you haven't planned for in your budget, and we really encourage you to consider these at the beginning of the school year. We'll see you next time on Parent Academy Real Talk.